Yo, what's going on, guys? Bobby here, and today we have a banger tier list for you guys. Now, every single time I release a tier list, you guys absolutely love it. You guys like saying it's the best list ever. You guys like saying it's the worst list ever. You guys just like saying a lot about my tier list. So today we're gonna do what we did last time. We're gonna go by rarity instead of single brawlers at a time, but we're gonna give each brawler their moment. You guys are gonna see what I'm talking about if you guys watch the last one, or just, you know, watch 5 seconds of this and you're gonna figure it out. All right, so starting off with the starter brawlers and the common brawlers, same thing every time. You guys hear me say this every single time I make a tier list. These brawlers just aren't good. They're not dynamic enough. They don't do crazy things that really impact the game to a crazy degree as something like a Kaze would, or a Mina, which we'll obviously get into later. But yeah, starting with Shelly, she did get a little bit of a buff, not a good enough one, as she's only really good in Brawl Ball, and even then she's not the best anti-tank that you can run, so I don't have too much to say about Shelly. Nita, pretty good in Heist with the Hyper Bear. Even I play it to this day. I play Nita with the Hyper Bear. In the last monthly final that we won, I played it on Hot Potato. So anytime it's a close range heist map, I do think you can always make Nita work with the bear on safe. Outside of that, not really too much room to play her on, but you can also make her work on Gem Grab and Brawl Ball if you're low trophies or low rank. Colt, good on Heist. That's about it, but I'm going to keep Colt out of the F tier because he is actually pretty strong on Heist. He does a lot of damage. Bull's going to be my B tier. At this point, I feel like Bull is just the better Buzz, which is a little bit weird because Buzz and Bull used to be very different brawlers, but when they reworked Bull, they just made him a better Buzz, basically. So Bull is going to be in our B tier, and Buzz has to rank below Bull. But Bull is actually pretty good in Brawl Ball, Gem Grab, and obviously, you know, Heist. Bull's pretty good in Heist. So yeah, that is going to be our B tier for Bull. Brock, good Heist brawler, good bounty brawler, decent knockout brawler. So Brock is going to be in our B tier. Primo is going to be in the D tier. He is ever so slightly surviving the F tier because he did just get a recent buff, and he's also one of the best Brawl Ball brawlers. Barley, really good in Heist and really good in Hot Zone, so Barley is going to be an easy B tier for us. Probably the best thrower in each of those two modes besides Barry. Poco, actually pretty good in this meta because he counters a lot of brawlers. And then finally, Rosa is going to be one of our few F tier brawlers because Rosa is just not a good brawler. Needs big buffs super desperately. All right, so now we're gonna have our super rare brawlers, starting off with Jessie. Jessie, I actually think, is a little bit underrated right now. I also think she's pretty good in the meta. Just, you know, the meta ships and changes and, you know, stuff happens, and I actually think Jessie is pretty good into a lot of the meta brawlers. The turret is really good into a lot of brawlers that are fairly in the meta, and then a lot of brawlers like throwers that just straight up counter Jessie just aren't really that good right now because of how aggressive the game feels. So yeah, I think Jessie is a solid C tier brawler. Then we have Dinah. Again, Dinah's going to be in the C tier, but it's basically just Brawl Ball and Heist. And even in both those modes, it's super risky because, again, if you face anything like a Carl that's on my screen, but more so like a Kaze or a Kenji or anything like that, like, it's game over with Dinah. You're doing nothing all game. Same thing with Tick. Tick is also going to be in my C tier. I just think there are better throwers, but Tick does have his spot in both Bounty and in Knockout. I just don't think he's too good in those modes, but he definitely does belong there. And if you have a mode that you can comfortably play in, even at the very highest levels of the game, I'll at least give you C tier. So C tier is going to be rewarded for my boy Tick. 8-Bit next. 8-Bit's going to be in the C tier. Again, he's like a really solid last pick. So if you're playing a draft and you have 3 brawlers that absolutely don't counter you at all, can't take out your turret, and then once you're set up, you have, you know, easy pickings basically, then 8-Bit's going to be really good kind of regardless of the mode. So yeah, 8-Bit's going to be in my C tier. I actually like 8-Bit a lot. Next up, Rico. Rico is going to be our first super rare brawler in the B tier. I do think Rico is a pretty good brawler in general. Much more map dependent than he is mode dependent. You can kind of play Rico on any mode. It just, you know, the map has to have a lot of walls and a lot of good bouncing areas. Daryl next. Daryl, he escaped the D tier because he has 2 rules, which makes him usable in Knockout endgame and then also sometimes in Heist. But he is very lucky he's not in the F tier because he is one of the worst brawlers in the game. Easy. Then we have Penny. Penny got a small buff, and I honestly think she is capable of being a B tier brawler. So shout out Penny for being B tier. I like Penny a lot as a last pick in Hot Zone. You know, everyone's trying to go for that safe. If you're not facing a thrower, Penny is typically pretty good. You can also use Penny in Gem Grab. I think those are really the only 2 modes you can play her, though. Carl's going to be in our B tier. I actually think Carl's really good right now. and a little bit underrated. You can play both Fire Carl and Flying Hook Carl. Just depends on the map and what type of matchups you think you're going to be seeing. And you can play Carl on basically any mode, in my opinion, besides Knockout. So I actually think Carl's in a pretty good spot right now and is very balanced, but also like good enough to be considered an above average brawler, in my opinion. Jackie, you're going to be in the F tier. There's no reason to play Jackie. If you're going to play Jackie, just play Doug. Doug is literally a better version of Jackie in every single way. And then finally, Gus. I mean, Gus is just solid. Bounty, Knockout, Gem Grab mid. I mean, you can play Gus in all of those very comfortably, very well. So Gus is going to be our first A tier brawler. Again, just so you guys, you know, I say this every video, but Brawl Stars does this on purpose. The rarer the brawler is, the better the brawler is typically going to be. They don't release any new common brawlers or any new rare brawlers because that A, doesn't make Brawl Stars any money, and B, they don't want those brawlers to be good. They want you to spend money and unlock good brawlers, and rare and, you know, common, like super rare, whatever the ranks are called. They're not making money on those brawlers, so yeah. All right, a lot of updates to our list here, so let's make sure we get them down one by one. We're now in the epic rarity, so there are a lot more higher tier brawlers when it comes to how good they actually are on this list. And you guys see there's no F tier brawlers and only a few D tier brawlers, but let's get into it. So starting off with Bo. Bo is going to be what? Bo's in my C tier. Bo's just not that good right now. Again, there's a lot of brawlers that are just so strong movement wise that can kind of get rid of the bow mines without any risk of stepping on them. So because of that, Bo is C tier, and he just doesn't have that range that a sniper does. So he's not a sniper, he's more of a mid-range that just doesn't have that killer blow. Obviously, if you hit 3 shots, you can do a lot of damage, but it's pretty difficult to hit all 3 arrows. So C tier brawler for me. Ems next. I actually think Ems is pretty good into this meta. Like I said, Poco is pretty good in the meta right now. So whenever Poco's pretty good, then, you know, Ems just finds her way always as like a counter pick. But Ems does a lot of damage, is a good anti-tank. You basically have unlimited knockbacks when you have your actual gadget plus your hypercharge. So I do like Ems right now. Stu is next. Stu has kind of fallen from grace. You don't really see a lot of Stu played in like pro scrims or anything like that. It just feels like he doesn't do enough damage. And before, you used to play Stu if you went like B on your team, for example, in Hot Zone. You would go Stu and you would break the walls. And you could still see those strategies to this day. But it just feels like Stu doesn't do enough damage. And whatever brawler you're facing is going to get some hyper, take control. And there's just nothing you can do about it on Stu. Piper. I have a good amount to say about Piper. Piper feels like she sucks right now. The hypercharge is useless. Like, the hyper needs, I don't know if rework is the right word, but it's just the normal Piper jump that's faster, basically. But why would you ever need to, like, jump into someone faster? Like, maybe there's one chance where this person is 100 HP and you just jump into them and you auto-aim and you kill them. But even then, it could be deadly to do that. It's just not a good hyper. And I used to use it for the stat buff, but now the stat buffs aren't really a thing. So Piper's just not good right now. She's okay in Bounty. Not really that good in Knockout. Definitely needs some type of buff. Then we have Pam. Pam is also going to be in the C tier. I was very excited for Pam to get the hypercharge because I do actually enjoy playing Pam. It just feels like she doesn't have a spot in the meta right exactly now. Maybe if the meta changes a little bit, she'll find her way. And she's honestly one of the higher tier C tier brawlers here. Like, she is the first, second, or third best brawler in this tier. She could have been B, but I'm trying to be fair, so I still think Pam is a C tier brawler. She's pretty limited, but you can definitely play her in Hot Zone if you are not facing a thrower. Then we have Frank. A lot of you guys are going to disagree about this opinion, just like I think you probably would disagree about Piper. So I'm just going to take a sip of water real quick, you know, stay hydrated. But yeah, Frank is not that good right now. I understand if you're at like 500 trophies or 400 or 600, or if you're in silver or gold or diamond and ranked, and nobody can hit the Frank and the Frank starts swinging fast, just similar to the Piper, how no one can juke the Piper or counter the Piper. So the Piper kills everyone at your low trophy games. But the reality is, if you know how to properly play against these brawlers, and you can actually not walk within 2 tiles of a Frank when they're one shot and get pulled and smacked around, then this brawler sucks right now. And that's fine because Frank meta is a little bit annoying, but Frank is C tier for me. Good in Brawl Ball, okay in Hot Zone, and that's really about it. Next up, we have BB. BB's pretty usable in Heist right now, but only on those close quarter maps that I recommended with Nita. So I'm talking maps like Pit Stop, or I don't know, what else is she good on? Like Hot Potato, I guess BB's okay on. But yeah, BB is going to be D tier for me. Similar to Frank, where I just think a lot of you may get mad because BB's good at low ranks, but she's not actually good at, you know, when people can aim and actually play the game. So BB's going to be a D tier brawler for me. B is up next. B, I think, has been in my B tier because I've made that joke like the last 10 times I've made a tier list. But yeah, B's just a good anti-tank sniper. Probably the best anti-tank sniper in the game. Really good on hot zone, pretty good on brawl ball, open maps, and okay in gem. And I would say that's about it. Besides maybe heist, you can make her work. But yeah, I don't know. B's a good brawler. B tier. I like this spot for B. Next up, Nani. Nani is also going to be in our B tier. Just really good at knockout, really good at bounty, and that's about it. You don't want to play Nani anywhere else. You honestly just want to stick to bounty, if I'm being honest, but just an absolute mega hard counter to snipers of all sorts. So yeah, I don't know. But easy B tier for Nani. Then we have Edgar. Can we get a round of applause for Edgar finally making it out of the D and F tier and into the B tier? He got a double buff both. Or to star powers. So, I mean, it's like not really a double buff because you can only pick one star power. But, I mean, they were really good regardless of which star power you like to play. I actually do think Edgar is in a strong position right now. So, congrats to Edgar for being B tier. He is actually totally viable to play right now. So, I'm not saying pick him in my games randoms if you see me on your team. But, I mean, if you're facing me, you might as well. You probably beat me 1 or twice. Then we got Griff in the C tier. See, Griff actually has a very good hypercharge. The only issue with Griff is it's like every time you open the map, you're usually facing a brawler that gets benefited more from opening the map. So let's say you're playing a draft and you have a Stu or a Jesse on your team and you go Griff. Then the other team's like, a Griff, they're opening the map. Let me go B. And then they go B, and then you just lose the game. So then we have Grom, which is going to be another classic example of you guys getting mad at me, guys. It's not my fault. You guys can see a Grom shot going up and then back down. And it's, you know, it's the same pattern. It just shoots like this. Why is it crooked? Like that. Every time. And it's not my fault. You guys can't dodge it, okay? It's not. If you have 300 trophies and you can't juke a Grom, it's not my fault. It's not me underrating Grom. It's you guys not knowing how to juke the Grom. Now, yes, I understand the hypercharge is good, but he shouldn't be getting a hypercharge in general. Any brawler with any type of movement, which is coming up soon, trust me, will be able to juke your Grom easily. You're not going to hit a shot and you're going to get ran down. So Grom is going to be D tier for me. The hyper is good just like Griff, but he is not usable in my opinion right now. Then we have Bonnie. Yeah, Brawl Stars killed Bonnie. Brawl Stars said enough is enough. Bonnie is not going to be good anymore. She's going to be D tier. She is basically unpickable at this point and I would not recommend. Then we have Gale. Shout out Gale for being in the A tier. He is probably the greatest anti-tank in the game right now, if not the second, third, or fourth best. He just feels really strong. You can cycle Gale supers. If any of you guys have been around, you know, a couple of years, you guys know that Gale meta is extremely obnoxious. And I'm not saying this is a Gale meta where he's an S tier or one of the higher A tier brawlers, but it's definitely a meta where Gale is going to be good and it doesn't take very long for Gale to get super. So you could cycle, you know, use your super, stun them, auto aim, auto aim, auto aim, and you're going to be like 80% of your way to super back. So, I mean, I'm loving Gale right now and I think he's really good. Next up, we have Colette. Colette honestly feels better. Like brawler versus brawler, Colette deadass feels better. But what is nerfed about the Colette is that you cannot break an entire heist barrier with Colette. Or with, I think you can with a crow jump, but you can't with Colette. Because they nerfed the hyper damage buffs. So you do like 20% or 21, I think, instead of 25. So that's, if that wasn't the case, I would literally have her in the B tier. But because of that slight change, and she's mainly a heist brawler. So that's a big nerf to her. So I'm just going to leave her in the C tier for now, but I do think she's pretty good. Then we have Belle. Again, same thing as B. Belle's just hard stuck in the B tier, not going to move from here. She's just well-rounded and like low-key good everywhere, but not great anywhere. So she's basically B tier in every single mode in the game, which is insane. So she's the perfect B tier brawler. Then we have Ashe. Ashe is going to be our first tank in the A tier. Ashe is a stud. Ashe has been good for a pretty long time, and I'm pretty sure they buffed Ashe too, which is kind of crazy to me because Ashe was already A tier. But yeah, good for you, Ashe. I'm proud of you. Ashe is good in Brawl Ball, good in Gem, good in Hot Zone if played with a healer. That's about it, but very good in those modes. So definite A tier for us. Next, we have Lola. Lola honestly should be D tier, but I'm going to leave Lola in the C tier because I'm going to be nice to Lola. Lola doesn't deserve this. She does need a little bit of a buff. She was actually going to get a very obnoxious buff. That was low-key gonna make her an A tier brawler, but because of the complaining of Spen LC, myself, and I think it was Carnage. I don't know. Someone else in the balance team. We luckily escaped the buff that Lola was going to get for the time being. So she's going to stay C tier. But I do, because I saw, you know, they were looking to buff Lola, that they are going to buff her in the near future, which she definitely needs. But yeah, C tier for now. Then we got Sam. Sam is D tier. Hyper's good. Rest is bad. Mandy is going to be a B tier brawler for us. Really good in bounty and really good in knockout, especially in knockout, to be honest, because that Mandy super, like, you can just get a kill, and obviously making it a 3v2 in knockout is such a big advantage. So, yeah, Mandy B tier, I guess. I don't really know. I don't really have anything else to say for Mandy. Macy, as much as I want to say she is a tier brawler and troll, Mr. Spencer, British man, she is C tier sadly right now. I do think she's playable. I think all the brawlers in C tier are playable, unlike the brawlers in D and F tier, but she's just not good. There's never really a time to pick Macy, so yeah, C tier. Hank, the big old fish, he's still A tier. No matter what they do to Hank, he just remains the GOAT. It's just that 4K big bubble shot, too easy to hit, too much pressure, because if that a 4,000 shot is more than a Piper shot, okay? Let's just explain it like this. A max range Piper shot can clap a lot of people, okay? And the fish shot is bigger than that. And then on top of that, the fish has 10,000 or 11,000 HP. I don't know what number. And then on top of that, you see the big bubble. You know, it's not a shot. It's just a big bubble that you have to walk backwards when you're facing against. So the fact that that big bubble is just always up and you always have that pressure of hitting that shot if someone comes too close just gives you so much space with Hank. It's unreal. Then we have Pearl. Pearl is C tier. Not very good right now, even though we got a buff. OG, please stop drafting Pearl. Then we got Larry. Larry's going to be in our B tier, just an average thrower. For Larry and Juju, I was really excited about the hypercharges. I thought Larry's would be better than Juju's, to be honest, because 2 bots is pretty sick, but it just takes too long to charge and it doesn't seem all that crazy. So Larry is still going to be B tier for me. Then we have Angelo. Round of applause for Angelo, our first S tier brawler. Look, Angelo's the best sniper. The meta is a little bit more control than it was last meta and the meta before and the meta before, mostly due to the big hypercharge nerfs and all that. So control is a little bit more back in the meta, and Angelo's obviously reaping the benefits of that. So Angelo's going to be S tier. You could literally play Angelo in any single mode besides probably Hot Zone, because Hot Zone is too much about control. And it's easy to hold control with Angelo, but not easy to stand in the actual zone. So S tier for Angelo. Moving back to the A tier, we have Barry. Barry, another really good brawler, has been good for a really long time. You get multiple hypers a game. Very good in Hot Zone, very good in Heist. Playable in Brawl Ball, so that is enough for Barry to be really good in my opinion. And that's going to be a very easy A tier for me. Only 3 more epics. We got Shade right after Barry. So Shade is going to be in the A tier. One of the best aggressive brawlers in the game right now. The hyper is obviously insane. The fact that you can go through the walls and do all that crazy stuff is just... it's just kind of nuts, because you can do that with the regular super. The gadget's obviously really good, but then the hyper is just such a game changer. So easy A tier for Shade, 100%. Very good in Brawl Ball, very good in Heist, and very good in Hot Zone. Then we have Meeple. Meeple is going to be our second S tier brawler. Kind of the same speech that you guys got with the Angelo. It's a control meta right now, and the fact that that hyper from Meeple is so good. So you have a lot of good utility. You have the hyper, which allows you to walk through walls, and it's obviously a bigger super radius. You have the super itself, which is really good because, you know, you can shoot through walls, and shooting through walls is pretty epic. And then the gadgets are both insane. If you're facing something like a Buzz or a Shade, having that knockback is insane. And if you're facing anything that's mid-range, long-range, control, whatever it is, that box is also just... oh, it's just beautiful. That box is like the best gadget in the game. So yeah, easy S tier brawler for me, 100,000%. And then finally we have Trunk. Trunk is a really weird one because it totally depends on the player. If you're Sergeant, you know, Trunk could be S tier. And if you're Sans, you know, Trunk can be F tier. It kind of just depends on what, you know, how good you are at Trunk. Trunk is a very big skilled brawler. It takes a lot of knowledge of how to play the brawler. But yeah, Trunk is going to be B tier for me. I'm happy with that ranking, and that is going to be it with the epics. All right, we have a lot to talk about here. This is easily my favorite rarity in the game. We have Mythic. Mythic has all the coolest brawlers, okay? I have to, like, it has to be known. Mythic has all the coolest brawlers. It doesn't have all those annoying assassin, legendary, ooh, Kaze, ooh, Kenji. Like no, those brawlers are for bums, okay? This has all the sick brawlers, and we're going to talk about them right now. Starting off with the Modus himself. He is going to be in the B tier. The Modus is pretty good. He's pretty dangerous. You guys know how it be. You get that hypercharge, you hit 2 people with it, GG, wrap it up, team wipe, so easy. I mean, you know, same thing as Edgar. If you're facing counters, it's a free game for Mortis. If you're facing a Shelly, you know, wrap it up, like just let it go. Doesn't really matter the mode for the most part, as long as it's not like Heist or Hot Zone. Even Hot Zone you can play. It's just matchup dependent. So yeah, don't play Mortis on Heist and matchup dependent. Then we got Tara. Yo, low-key Tara, big nerf. The fact that it just feels so long now to get that super, unless you're, I mean, if you're facing a Bull, if you're facing, you know, what else do I see? A Hank. Even a Hank can kind of take a little bit because Hank can hide on the other side of the wall. If you're facing a Melody, if you're facing brawlers that will run into you and give you a super on your first life, Tara's the same brawler. If you pick Tara early in a draft, or if you're playing her in Gem and you're going up against like Janet, Squeak, and something, like, you're not getting that super. You might get that super, but it's going to be 10-0 already. Like, it takes a while to get Tara super, so Tara definitely gets a nerf, but everything else is the same. Like, the pull is still amazing. The Tara pets are still really good into something like a B or a Mandy. I don't know. So, yeah, B tier for Tara, but she's still a great brawler. Jean is going to be S tier. You can take a little peek at my S tier. I'm not spoiling everything right now, but you guys can see there's a lot of like control and patience and distance brawlers in the S tier. I love it. I missed it so much. And Jean is going to be one of them. One of the best brawlers in Gem Grab, one of the best brawlers in Bounty, one of the best brawlers in Knockout, and one of the best brawlers in... No, that's it. That's it for my list. But yeah, Jean is just insane in those modes. Easy first picks or insta-locks. Like, just good in those modes. Max got a big buff. Very easy to get the hyper now. Honestly, pretty easy to get 2 hypers a game now, which means your teammates can get 3 hypers a game now. One of the best support brawlers in the game. I recently spoke about this in my top 10 brawlers list. I always mess this up, guys. So she is a top 10 brawler right now, and she is very good, and I think she's great. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about Max. Big buff. Mr. P is going to be in the D tier. Mr. P sucks right now. Do not play Mr. P unless you have the perfect Mr. P game, the best Mr. P game of all time. Mr. P was S tier, what, 4 months ago? And now he is down in the D tier. Poor boy. Sprout, same thing. D tier, just gets ran down. Guys, these brawlers that don't do enough damage consistently just get ran down. And that's just the life of being one of these brawlers, and they have to deal with it. Byron, whatever you want to call him. Honestly, to me, he's Byron. Byron sounds better. Byron is going to be A tier. Very good in Hot Zone. Very good in Gem Grab. Very good on range brawl ball maps. Very good on Knockout. And very good on Bounty. Byron is kind of just him. I cannot lie. Has a lot of range. Has good healing. The super is good. The gadgets are good. The hypercharge is very good. Everything about Byron is good. Easy A tier. Then we got Squeak. Squeak is going to sneak into the bottom of the B tier. Now, things aren't really in order in my tiers, but I kind of purposely put Squeak somewhere near the bottom because Squeak just like ever so slightly snuck in there. He's just a good last pick. It's like the reverse Edgar and Mortis. It's like when you're facing brawlers, like let's just say Lou. You're facing Lou, Tara, and B. Those are the 3 brawlers you're facing for some reason. Squeak owns that. It's the same thing as if you're facing like a couple throwers and you could pick Edgar or Mortis. It's just the other way around. Good in Brawl Ball as a last pick. Good in Heist kind of as a last pick. Good in Hot Zone as a last pick. Good in Gem as a last pick. That's about it. Honestly, pretty good in Knockout as well. Then we have Lure, aka Lou. Lou is going to be B tier. Just a lot of brawlers that aren't thick these days at the top of the meta. Like if you're just reading off the top and you exclude Ollie, Hank, and Ash, like you're just not getting a lot of supercharge off of any of those brawlers, to be honest. So that in and of itself makes Lou worse. Now, if a bunch of brawlers like Frank, even though Frank does counter Lou with the gadget, or Bull, or, you know, tanks for meta, then Lou could be the same brawler with no changes and be A tier. But just because of how the meta is right now, Lou is a B tier brawler, but still really good in Brawl Ball and Hot Zone 100%. Then we have Ruffs. Round of applause for my boy Ruffs. Ruffs is deadass a top 10 brawler in pro play. Issue is, You guys aren't pro players, so Ruffs is not top 10 for you guys. But when you're playing with like a Finks on hot zone and you're breaking the wall in case you're facing a thrower and you're giving the Finks a second hypercharge, like Ruffs is really good. I cannot lie. So I'm a big fan of Ruffs. Ruffs is great. Good in basically any mode that's not bounty or knockout, but even in bounty or knockout, you could do like cheese strats with like HP Ruffs. Just gain HP with the star power. But yeah, A tier for me. Pretty solid brawler all around. I'm a big fan of Ruffs right now. Then we have Buzz. Like I said, Bull is just the better Buzz, so Buzz has to be below Bull. So Buzz is going to be C tier. If you have free matchups on Buzz, you might as well play Bull. But if you don't feel like playing Bull, then you could play some Buzz. Buzz is going to be C tier. Very strong brawler, very good brawler. When you have good matchups, when you don't, it's sayonara, game over. Then we have Janet. Janet's going to be A tier. Janet's honestly the best gem grab mid in the game. The gadget that... There's two gadgets that are good. There is the jump away gadget, which is good. And then there is the body blocking, like drop the base gadget. If you're playing a Jean, you want to play drop the base. Because Jean just can't pull you as long as you have that gadget. If you're playing something like a Lily, you want to use the jump gadget. Because when the Lily is trying to go onto you with the super, you can't, drop the base body block it. But you can jump away from it. So... both of those are good, plus the fact that you can fly away at any time when you have supers. So yeah, the gadgets are really strong. The super is really strong when it comes to escaping. So Janet's like a good last pick or a good gem grab mid. And that's about it. But because she's so strong in those situations, she's going to be A tier for me. Then we got Otis. Otis is going to be our first anti-tank in the S tier. Just very good. The hyper is really good. The damage is really good. The vision gear on Otis is really good. The gadget for scouting and keeping people low is really good. Or finishing kills. Just a big Otis fan. You can play Otis in every single mode that's not bounty or knockout. So yeah, big shout out Otis. Easy S tier. But more so like the bottom of S tier or top of A tier than one of the, 5 best in the game. Even though he is probably one of the 5 best in the game. Then we got Buster. Buster is just like stuck being mid, and I'm sure he's fine with that because that means you can always play him. Buster is B tier. He's really good in some situations, but really bad in other situations, and you can play him in literally every mode in the game besides Heist. And even then, you can like low-key play him in Heist. So, I mean, big shout out Buster for being really good at basically nothing and not being bad at anything. So, yeah, shout out Buster. Then we have Gray. Gray's going to be A tier. Gray's he's just too useful. Hot zone, cheese comps, gem grab. Honestly, Gray's pretty good still. And then knockout and bounty, obviously Gray's still really good. So like Gray's just a little sneaky merchant, always like teleporting on you when you're one shot and finishing the kill. So I've always liked Gray, and I think Gray is an easy A tier brawler for me. Next up, RT. RT I put in the B tier, I think. Yeah, I did put RT in the B tier. Good in knockout, good in bounty, good in heist if you're facing someone like a Miko or a Chuck that's just going to your safe. And he's got, that's 3 different things that RT's good at. And what else do you really need? So B tier for me. I like RT in this spot. Willow next. Willow's really annoying in Brawl Ball, but Willow loses to every other thrower. Like the impact on a game that Willow can have might be higher than the other throwers. But if you're playing Barley versus Willow or like Juju versus Willow or Larry versus Willow, like you should never lose that lane. You just have more range. So it's pretty tough for the Willow, but Willow versus non-throwers has a pretty easy time dominating, specifically in Brawl Ball only. Then we have Doug. Doug is just like a better version of Jackie. Doug is going to be C tier, but Doug also like low-key counters things like Buster or sometimes Fish or Shade. Like brawlers that need to go 1 tile away from you to get the kill. Like Doug low-key counters. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a pretty big fan of Doug. Doug is actually useful in the pro scene, but in general, if you're just playing Doug on trophies, more often than not, are you going to get countered and probably just have a hard time winning. Then we got Chuck. Chuck is Chuck. Chuck is C tier. Chuck, you can play him in Heist. Unless you're God Noob and you're literally the best human of all time at playing Chuck, then yeah, bro's hard stuck C tier. Charlie next. Charlie was an S tier brawler, then an A tier brawler, now a B tier brawler, but like definitely very, very upper end of B tier. It just depends on the matchups, to be honest. If your spawnables are good and you're facing tanks, then it's good. If you're facing like range brawlers and the brawlers can pierce, and Charlie's not good. It's really as simple as that for Charlie. Miko, same as Chuck, C tier, good in Heist. That's about it. Not wasting my time on this brawler. Melody, I think I put B tier. Melody got a slight buff. Good on Heist, but also like good on gem grab. So I think that's why I'm going to put Melody in the B tier, because it's just a little bit more multi-purpose than Chuck and Miko. but in Heist also does the same thing. So she's just good at a couple more things. So yeah, B tier for me for Melody, but definitely lower end of the B tier. Lily next. Lily can honestly be an A tier brawler, but I'm going to keep Lily at the upper end of the A tier because she's pretty one-dimensional. Like, she's like highest A tier brawler, to be honest, but she's like pretty one-dimensional. Like, you use your super, you go in, you get one, you die, maybe you get two, I don't know. But yeah, Lily's really good. You could play her in a lot of different modes. It's just if you're facing Doug as a Lily, you literally can't do anything. Or if you're facing Hank or Ash, like, it's pretty tough for the Lily. You need to be facing pretty specific, like, it's not matchup dependent like an Edgar or a Mortis, but you can get countered pretty easily. But still, really good hypercharge, really good brawler. I don't know why I'm talking it down more than I'm talking it up. But yeah, easy A tier, very strong brawler, can play in literally every single mode. We got the Crab Clancy. Bro is D tier, not good, horrible. Next. Mo is A tier specifically because the hyper is the most broken thing in the game, and Brawl Stars has to nerf it immediately before I crash out because it is too good and you cannot stop it. Mo will take any gem you have, will take any brawl ball and score. Like, it's just not fair. It needs a nerf 100%. Then we have Juju. Juju is the best thrower in the game. Spen LC. Ranked Juju C tier. Spen, have you lost your mind? Juju is so good right now. That hypercharge is so impossible to juke, and it's just so much pressure, and it moves faster, and it has more HP. Like, come on, Spencer. And if it was just the hyper, sure, I understand, but you get 2 Juju hypers in the time that it takes to get 1 Larry hyper. So you're just getting so many hypers per game, and I don't know, Spen. Let's wake up, buddy. Then we have Ollie. Ollie's also going to be S tier, our first S tier tank, even though she plays a little bit more like an assassin. Ollie is very good. The hyper doesn't jump over walls, so it's not as broken and as unstoppable as it once was, but still a very good brawler nonetheless. Easy S tier. Good in every single mode in the game besides Heist. Then we have Lumi. Lumi fell to B tier. She just does not feel good right now. She's very map and mode specific. Definitely the upper end of the B tier. Like, she's better than Nita and Penny and Edgar and whatever, but still definitely a B tier, not as good as these A tier brawlers, and I'm trying to be pretty strict with my A tiers, so I'm sorry, Lumi, but you're gonna be B tier for me. Then we have Ziggy. Ziggy could be in the D tier, but I actually think Ziggy is a little bit better than people give him credit for, so I think he's gonna be in the C tier. I might make a video specifically for Ziggy to teach everyone how to play him, because I haven't played him too much, but I definitely feel like he's a lot stronger than people make him out to be. So C tier for Ziggy, but definitely very much lower end of the C tier and very matchup specific. Only a few more mythics left. We have Finks. Finks is going to be the upper end of the A tier, even though he's on the bottom part of the A tier. Best brawler in Hot Zone besides Mina. Very good in Brawl Ball. Very good as a gem grab mid. Finks is just very strong, and I mean, we love strong brawlers, right? So A tier for the Finks, 100,000%. Then we have Jay, another A tier, one of the best support brawlers in the game, just very good right now, and a very large counter to brawlers like Tara or Charlie. Just absolutely demolishes any brawlers with spawnables mid-game. So yeah, Jay, I'm a big fan of Jay, but you need to make sure you're pairing Jay with a strong brawler. Then we have Ali. Ali is really good right now. Ali's in the B tier, but the upper end of the B tier again. But yeah, Ali's a very good brawler. B tier, very matchup specific, good in Brawl Ball, pretty good in Hot Zone and Gem Grab, and yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of Ali. I think she needs to be played more by pro teams, to be honest. And then finally, we have Mina. Mina's the best brawler in the game. She's S tier 100%. Please nerf Mina ASAP again. All right, and this is my final list of brawlers right here. We're going to talk about the legendary, so let's get this started. Starting off with Spike. Spike is going to be in the C tier. He needs a buff. He is maybe okay as a last pick counter, kind of like Ziggy, just not as strong as other last pick counters can be, and very matchup specific and mode specific. Usable in the most niche settings possible, but that's about it. Then we have Crow. Crow is going to be in the A tier. Crow is just a really annoying anti-tank. Like, if you're in an open map and you're playing Kenji, Kaze, Ash, Lily, you know, whatever it may be, there's so many brawlers that Crow just outranges and just is so annoying because you can't heal against the Crow and you do less damage, and it's, oh my god, it's just so annoying. So Crow is an easy A tier on top of the fact that obviously his hyper can just like demolish the safe in Heist. Leon up next. Leon is going to be D tier. Leon's needed a buff for a while. Leon is one of those brawlers that I mentioned earlier on in the video that is just so bad, but like good or bad players can't beat a Leon because they can't grasp the fact that a brawler can go invisible. If you don't see the brawler on your screen for 10 seconds, that probably means he's invisible or hiding in a bush right beside you. So because of that, Leon doesn't get a buff. So Leon is actually bad, but if you're low trophies, Leon is good. So yeah, take with that what you will. Sandy is B tier. Sandy's like a very niche pick. You need good matchups for Sandy and specific mode and map to make Sandy work. Even my teammate Sans, who's like the most well-known Sandy main, doesn't even like Sandy that much anymore. So that's a big tell for me that Sandy's going to be in the B tier. Then we have Amber. Amber's going to be in the A tier. Very strong brawler in a lot of different modes. Basically anywhere besides bounty and knockout, Amber is really good. Very good for zone time and hot zone. Very good as a defender in heist. Good on brawl ball and gem grab, but only some maps in those two modes. But yeah, very well-rounded, and Amber is going to be an easy A tier. Honestly, one of my favorite brawlers in the game. Then we have Meg, B tier for Meg. You know, just a weird brawler. Good into some brawlers, really bad into other brawlers. Basically only good in brawl ball and in hot zone where you need like map presence and good amount of damage and control. Surge is going to be C tier, just not very good right now. Many anti-tanks in the game are better than Surge. Chester, same thing. I think I put Chester in the C tier somewhere. Am I blind? Oh God, where's Chester? I have to be blind. Oh, Chester is in the C tier. It's right beside Surge. I'm literally blind. But yeah, just so many better anti-tanks in the game. Look at the top of the list. You see Otis. You see Cord, which we're going to talk about in a second. You see Gale. You see, you know, even Ruffs. You see Crow. You see Finks. You see, there's just too many good options to justify playing Surge or Chester right now. But you can make them work. Then we have Cord. Okay, I like low-key forgot about Cord in my top 10 video. If you see my S tier right now, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 brawlers in the top 10. They were all in my top 10 in my top 10 video, and then I added 2 other brawlers from my A tier. Cord should have been in the top 10, to be honest. I don't know why. I just forgot about Cord. I blanked on Cord. But Cord is still really good. He's not as good. He's definitely around like 8 or 9 or oh my god, 6, 7, yay. Okay. Yeah, he can also be around 6, 7, but he's not in the top 5 for sure, and he's a little bit weaker because the meta's more control, but still a very good brawler into what he counters. Then we have Cat. I need a rip in the comment section for Cat. Cat has moved all the way down to C tier. The invis takes forever to charge. The hyper takes forever to charge. It's still the same old hyper. It's you just don't get it. That's the issue. It almost feels like you have to play with a Ruffs on your team if you want to go the Cat. But yeah, I don't know. Not the greatest brawler, and that's all good. It's not all good. I miss you, kitty cat. Then we got Draco. Draco's B tier only for the fact that Draco's good in hot zone. A lot of people think Draco is dead, but that is not the fact. Draco is definitely really good in hot zone and will stay really good in hot zone for the time being because he is a big dragon. Then we got Kenji. Kenji is in the bottom of the A tier. They nerfed his hyper, but they did not nerf his soul. Like, he's still really good. He's still got good movement. He's still very annoying to go up against, and he's definitely bottom of A tier, but still an A tier brawler. I honestly wish they nerfed him a little bit more. And then finally we have ultra legendary Kaze. One of the best brawlers in the game, definitely top 5 in my opinion. S tier 1000. It's just the movement is too much. Like, Kenji is a dash and then a swipe, a dash and then a swipe, where Kaze is just dash, dash, dash. Like, you're dashing all over the place, and then when you switch to the ninja form, you're invisible. So it's like, what is going on? Like, let's be realistic here, Brawl Stars. That should not be a thing. I hope it gets nerfed. But this is my tier list. So let me know what you guys think about my tier list. If you guys enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, all that beautiful stuff. That is going to be it for me today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video a lot. I will catch you guys again later.